everyone, and thank you so much for joining me already. Wow, it's weird to stream on a Monday, but hello. I hope everyone's had a great weekend and is, ready to start the week with great excitement. Thank you very much, Cucumber, Punishing Lance, and CB Jess. It's very, very kind. Yes, Monday birthdays. Yay! But as a little self-present today, I am working on my own D&D character because I very, very rarely get time to work on my own characters in any sort of a detailed sort of style. Most of the time when I draw my own characters, they're very, they're more of a kind of sketchy style because I don't tend to have the time. But today I am giving I say I'm giving myself a break, but it's not a break if I'm still painting. I'm gonna make my own D&D character for once. Thank you so much, Model, for the subscription. That's incredibly kind. Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you as well to J. Derek for the birthday wishes. It's very sweet. And Chamalair as well. Wow, thank you so much. But yeah, this is, as you can see, I kind of got a sketch already for my character. She is a Dhampir Druid, Dhampir being one of the new playable lineages introduced with Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft, and I'm going to be experimenting with a style I've been using more lately, which is a little bit more painty, a little bit less line arty, and yeah, I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm developing and changing my work up a little bit, so it's fun to experiment with that on my own character. Thank you so much, Aimless Wanderings, Punishing Lance, Rebel, and Sendras, Anim, thank you so much. Yeah, it's a birthday, and a birthday it is. Right, I just realized my palette has become a multiply layer somehow, so do excuse me while I just give it its own layer for a moment. There we go. Okay, so I have the sketch basically all done, ready to go. I'm just going to tidy it up a little bit because the way I'm going to be painting today is I'm not going to be doing any line art. This is a style where I go straight from sketch to paint, and that's what we're going to have a little bit of fun with today. So I'm just going to merge all of my sketch layers together, set them to multiply as always. Thank you so much, CB Jazz, for the bits. That's so kind, and thank you so much, Mark. It is birthday time. It is very much birthday time. But yes, today I'm going to be working on my sweet, sweet girl, Nemi. Nemi had a bit of a rough time in our last session. Rachel learned the hard way not to drop your wild shape, even if it seems like you're out of initiative. Because you will almost definitely activate another encounter before you get a short rest. And that's what happened. So I was there with one spell slot and no wild shapes, fighting off 4 flying swords with the monk in the party because we split the party and activated 2 encounters at once. So don't be me, don't do that. Thankfully she survived. She did kind of get speared through the gut and had 3 hit points left, but she survived. Turns out if you run out of everything, the best thing to do faced with flying swords is just try and grab the hilt. They haven't got a very good strength, it seems, so just grab the hilt of the sword and use it to bash another sword, and you're laughing. Oh my god, thank you so much, Sherlock Humes, that's so very kind, thank you so much for the donation. I will most definitely put that to good birthday use, thank you so much. It's very kind. Ugh. It's a good day, it's a good day. Alright, so, I'm trying to get myself in the mindset of no line art today. Hey, Call Me Kramer, Adrelian, and Quality Frey, thank you all so very much. It has been a lovely chill day so far, actually. I've been taking it fairly, well, I say I've been taking it easy, I've been working. But I've been working on fun stuff. A friend of mine is developing a brand new LARP game and LARP system, and they are kind of working on the website for it at the moment. So they commissioned me to do some art for it, some like little creatures and stuff that are going to be in kind of like the setting, and that's been really fun to work on. Always fun to work on projects with friends. Yes, very hype. Yes, she has a very sharp jawline. They say she can draw blood with her jawline just as easily as her fangs. Which is really all you need if you're a vampire. So yeah, we're going to start straight away with whacking down our base colours. I'm just going to start with the face and the kind of chest area for now. She's got obviously bare arms and stuff, but I want to kind of focus in on areas, given this is quite a new approach to doing things. Let's have, thank you so much. That's very, very kind. Yes, it feels weird. I am 26 today, I think. Is it 27? No, it's definitely 26. And things are looking fun. We kind of completely coincidentally booked flights to Japan last week, so that's gonna look forward to next year. Les F, thank you so much for the sub gifts in chat. That is so very kind. Thank you so much, everyone who just received a sub. That's the worst. My brain's a bit fried today. You can now access the Discord, hopefully. I'm still having some troubles with it, so do bear with. Unfortunately, last week was so busy I haven't had time to try and fix it yet, but I think I just need to relink Twitch and the Discord and get the integrations working together again. Yeah, call me Kramer. The campaign we are playing is D&D 5e, but we're using the Odyssey of the Dragon Lord setting, which is a very Greek mythos inspired setting. So obviously everything's very kind of classical style. So yeah, ancient Greek vampire. That's the vibe for this character, and also druid. You know, there's a lot of things going on. Oh, Liza, thank you so very much. That's very, very sweet. Oh, chat, you're so lovely. But yeah, and I'm really enjoying playing this character. Playing a Dhampir is an absolute scream. I think one of the really fun things that happened in the combat against the flying swords was there was this great big fountain in the kind of area where we were fighting. And one of the cool traits that Dhampir has is obviously they are technically undead, so they don't need to breathe. So because I think swords get a disadvantage if they're swinging through water, rule of cool, I don't know if it's actually the case with a flying sword enemy type, I just kind of like ended up going backwards into the fountain. And that made it hard for the sword, and because I don't need to breathe, then it's not really a concern during combat either, which is really fun. Yeah, it should be accessible on gifted subs. I think what's happened is Twitch has somehow disintegrated. That word sounded differently. Has unintegrated. Disintegrated means something's different. From Discord. So I need to go in there and hook it back up. I don't know why it's done that, but I'll try and sort it out. Thank you so much, Crimson Rockstar, for the sub gifts. That is so kind. Thank you so much, Ron. I'm sorry my voice is a bit scratchy. We had a barbecue on Saturday night and absolutely got completely smoked out, as they say. So my throat is still a bit unhappy from me desperately trying to get a barbecue to work and worrying because I've never used it before. Yeah, I haven't tried the Reborn, but they look super cool as well. I really just like all of the vibes in that book. They look super fun. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull up some reference material while I'm working on things. 1, 2, just so I can keep an eye on stuff, make sure it's coming together properly. Wonderful. So, what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to lock the skin layer. And I'm gonna start shading. So you can see this is my palette here. I pre-prepared that because it takes me a long time to get my color palettes together. Crimson Rockstar, thank you so much. It's very, very kind. And so yeah, it's gonna be fun to try. I'm gonna start with this as my first shadow color. Now, starting as is a very similar approach to coloring that I use with my normal style. The only difference is because we haven't got line art, we're gonna end up doing more refinement on the paint. But yeah, so this is a new style I'm trialing that if I enjoy it, if I'm vibing with it, I might start switching some, like I might make it available as a commission type. It's the style I used for the portrait of Opal from Exandria Unlimited the other day. That was so much fun to paint. I love how creative and gorgeous their characters are. But yeah, the first place I usually start when it comes to shading and giving shape to a face is under the cheeks and kind of like the blush area. Cheekbones, you do get a lot of shadows gather underneath those, so it is good to give them some definition early on. And then I'm going to add some shading to the side of the eyes. Obviously she is a Dhampir, her skin is a little bit more washed out than it would normally be, which is why I'm using some more kind of greys around here. Thank you so much, Pricing Lance. Yeah, on my Twitter, I think is where I uploaded it. Yes, I painted Opal. Opal's really cute. I couldn't resist. I love the colours, especially with her cool iridescent jacket. I just couldn't help myself. It had big KDA vibes. But yeah, you often get a lot of shadows coming around the side of the temples, depending on where your light source is. For this piece, my light source is coming over from the left, so that's why there's going to be more shadows pooling on the right. Lovely, and then we're going to have shadows forming under the chin. It's going to be a little bit, not under the chin, under the lip. Now she has quite pinky lips, which is why these shadows are going to be slightly pinkier than some of the surrounding areas. And then I'm just going to use a slightly lighter variant because I don't want to go too dark too soon. Painting shadows is very much a case of building up the shapes slowly. I know I haven't actually been able to watch it yet. I was just going off of the designs I really liked. But I'm actually like an hour off finishing the wrap up for campaign 2. But I'm pretty sure the first episode of XU will be being uploaded today, so I can actually catch up with it today while I'm working. Oh, that's awesome. Call me Kramer, that logic makes sense. I mean, you know, maybe he had enough of the She-Ra vibes, wants to do some Catra, I get it. Okay, I'm just gonna add a little bit of shadow at the side of the lip here, before I take a closer look at this and decide that, yeah, we can start moving on with some more shadows. So I'm gonna bring this greyish colour, greyish shadow on across to the other eye as well. Thank you so much, Miss Callisto, for the sub. That's very, very kind. I hope you enjoyed the stream, and thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to watch Matt play a character for himself. I just think that's going to be absolutely adorable. I'm just so happy whenever Forever DMs get to play. In my Rhyme with the Frost Maiden campaign I play with friends, one of my players is the group's usual DM, and seeing their creativity playing a character is just delightful. Oh, we have a hype train emote. Let's do it. But yeah, it's always lovely seeing people getting the chance to play when they usually don't. Alright, gonna have a bit of shadow coming down towards the bridge of the nose from the side of the eye there. And this is all kind of going towards just getting that initial definition and shape and depth to the face. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm also going to use this darker pink to just mark in the lower eyelid, because it can help bring the eye out quite nicely. And then I think it's probably time for us to start thinking about bringing in some darker shadows. So that's exactly what we're going to do. What do I want to do first? I think the first thing I'm going to do, I'm actually going to bring in some shadows from the nose. Because obviously we've got light coming from the left, which means shadows cast by the nose itself will be coming to the right. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill that in. So just a working shadow in progress to give us a bit of space, and I'm gonna trim it down a bit because shadows are weird. You've got to iterate on them. Okay, soften those edges a little bit. Clearly, this is my character. This is Anemone. She is a Dhampir Druid from my Odyssey of the Dragon Lords campaign that I'm currently enjoying very, very much, and she is an absolute delight to play. But yeah, very, very fun, and she's an absolute sweetie. She's kind of inspired as a mix between one of Lady Dimitrescu's daughters and Nezuko from Demon Slayer and a bunch of other references, but she's very, very fun to play. kind of sweet, kind of very confused. Doesn't really know what she's doing, trying to wing it, also trying not to give away she's a vampire. Very unsuccessfully, I might add. She's not very good at going incognito. Alright, just adding a slight deeper blush to that side there, and then we're going to follow that down a little bit, carry that down the side of the face. And then that's going to meet a more greyish shadow that's coming from here. Oh, Lezev, thank you so very much for joining today, and it's just been lovely to have you here. I hope you have a wonderful day, and probably be back on Wednesday. See you then. Alright, and then of course it's just a lot of blending to get all of the skin looking nice and smooth and these colours working together nicely. But yeah, it's coming along nicely, so I think the next thing I want to do is start deepening these shadows a wee bit. So a bit more darkness over on that eye, and we're going to need some more rosiness going on in those cheeks, I think. So I'm just going to very gently introduce some of that here. Again, I'm barely touching the canvas when I add these colours. It is a very, very gradual build-up of tone to help kind of soften it all in and look nice. And then I'm actually going to do the same thing on the other cheek. Obviously, the other cheek is slightly more light than this side, which is why I'm kind of using lighter tones and colours. Thank you so much, Dubai J, for the follow. I hope you enjoyed the stream, and thank you very much, Goose Blast. It's just very nice to kind of hang out. I wanted to kind of chill and kind of chat with folks, have a little birthday stream, because, you know, it's nice to have company. And I also wanted an excuse to work on one of my own characters for once. Who doesn't? Alright, yeah, I'm very pleased with how this is coming along. Just going to add a little bit more blending up here, and then using a slightly greyer tone, I'm just going to draw some of these shadows down the side of the nose a wee bit. I'm not going to do the nose properly yet. I usually kind of tackle the nose in its own layer, but you'll see that very shortly. Alright, so I think it's time we add some darker shadows here. We've got some darker colours here to start playing with. So let's start with under her chin. Again, not quite so grey as that grey I was using over there, but still quite desaturated compared to the rosiness of the cheeks in that general area. And then always eyedropping between the different colour groups to blend it in. I treat digital painting quite similar to oil painting. That's kind of how I learned a lot of kind of painting techniques when I was learning oils. So it kind of transfers across. Thank you so much to YT Sunrise Gaming for the follow. Thank you very much for joining me today. Of course, I don't usually stream on Mondays. This is like a special one-off type thing. But yeah, I just wanted to, you know, have a bit of fun today, have to do something different. Cool, so we've got those shadows coming in there. We definitely need some deeper ones on the right-hand side. So let's go ahead, grab this dark pink again. So, there we go. Just gonna put some of that here. And then what we'll probably do is start adding highlights, because that will also give us some of the contrast that we want. Again, coming across with those grayer tones to just blend in with the rest of the flesh colour. Who are we painting today? Unit A87. This is my character, Anemone, the Dhampir Druid. She is very, very much my MC right now. Add a bit more shadow up by the eyes. Nemi has quite dark eyes, bit of overdone makeup going on, but that's half the fun. Let's grab this. I think actually we're going to go for this rougier brown, because I quite like using reddier tones in the insides of the eyes. And then, actually it's not quite right, but we're going to apply it anyway. And then we have shadow looping around the front there, getting quite nice and dark. Thank you so much, Mark. That's very, very kind. Yeah, this character has been quite dear to me, and I just love being able to paint her. As I'm sure everyone gets with their own characters, you know. You want to make content with your characters sometimes. Alright, so we've got those dark shadows coming across there. We need to repeat those on the other side a wee bit. Not too much. We'll probably add way more detail to the eyes as we go on. But this, I believe, is a very good starting point. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply some darker tones around the neck. Start building up the shadows around the neck, I think. But all of this top part of the neck is going to be a bit shadowier. And then we're going to take this dark brown. Just gently pop that down around here. Okay, we're going to have a lot of shadows cast by the hair when we get around to painting that. So we will not worry too much about that just yet. I'm going to soften this edge a tiny bit and then just kind of take it back like so. So that's that brown. I'm gonna bring back a slight pink just at the front. Little bits of ambient light. Alright, and now I'm going to make a new layer, this time above the sketch. This is what I call the overlines layer, and this is where we start to kind of break away from what I usually do with my old style. Because what we're going to do is we're going to start really painting over the top of the sketch. At the end of this process, almost none of the sketch will be visible. It's all on the paintwork, and it makes for a very soft kind of end result. Thank you so much, Steve Gibbs, for the sub. That's very, very sweet. And thank you for the birthday wishes. Yeah, it's shaping up to be a good one this year. Got new headphones, as you can probably tell, from my partner, which are just making streaming so much more comfortable. I'm not constantly having my cable yanked out whenever I move my head, so that's an improvement. Yeah, it's a good one so far. I also got some board game goodness. I got a board game called Obscurio, I think, which I'd never even heard of for some friends of mine, so I'm looking forward to trying that one out. Big board game fans here. Okay, what next? I cry to myself at night. What's next? Indeed, I'm going to add a tiny bit of grey up here on the temples. This is where, whoops, that's not the right layer. This is where we're going to have a little bit of desaturation coming in. Again, she is a Dhampir, so I'll probably be doing some colour correction on these layers eventually as I drain the life from her lovely skin, which comes off a little bit creepy. I understand and I respect that. Okay, oh, thank you so much, Unit A87, that's very kind. I think next thing I'm going to tackle is we're going to do some highlights. So a new layer, clipped to the bottom one, so we don't kind of go outside the lines we've already established. And then we are going to grab one of several highlight colours. I'm going to start by introducing some quite different colours. We're going to have this really kind of more golden skin tone coming in from the left, because the lighting in this scene is going to be quite warm from the left, and it can really bring a portrait to life to have a bit more variation in tone rather than just using the same sort of flesh pink for the whole thing. Give it that KOTOR dark side effect. Exactly. Gosh, I was always incredibly grey Jedi when I played KOTOR. The lightning storm was just too much fun to resist. It did totally make the game easier, but it's worth it. Alright, I'm going to take this lighter pink. In fact, I'm not going to jump up too far. I'm going to take this lighter pink and use that to start adding some highlights, starting with her cheekbones. Thank you so much, Sylvig, for the sub. Very, very kind. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy the stream. And then obviously for each time I add a highlight, I need to go in, I need to blend it with the surrounding area. So do that as we go along. Blend, 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 blend. Sometimes a little bit too fast, so we're going to take it back using this pink. They do punish you for it. It's true. It's a bit of a balancing act. I think I've only played through the entirety of KOTOR once. What was that KOTOR 2? I've played them both, but I've only finished one of them. And I can't remember which is which. Sometimes. All right, I'm gonna add some more bright highlight here. And this is when we really start to get the shapes of the face coming in. We've got these extreme kind of lights and darks playing together. It's pink. Lovely. Yeah, it's coming along all right. We do need actually a little bit of an eye bag effect coming in here. This I will probably refine a bit later, but this is just as a placeholder for now, so I don't forget that she needs that. And then we will carry on putting highlights on the other side, where we'll actually have more highlights. And then we'll grab some slightly lighter ones. See how it's coming together. And then we will use exactly the same for the forehead. Bringing in these nice pale tones, especially on kind of like, I call it the apex of the forehead, that's not the right word, kind of like, you know the way spheres and domes reflect light? Well, the forehead's kind of like that, and will almost always be one of the lightest parts of the face if you're kind of using standard lighting. And then, of course, you've got to blend it all in. Hey, Sylvic, thank you so much. It's very kind. Alright, so blend, blend, blend. Trying to keep it nice and smooth. Very important. Oh, Blickemore, thank you so much. I was wondering if I would see you here today. It's lovely to have you here as always. Thank you again for the lovely, lovely, lovely fabric and stuff that came last week. Very, very sweet. Gosh, I'm so excited to show you some more costumes I'm working on at the moment. It's been a bit slow. Did some experiments over the weekend. Turns out you can't just double layer muslin. It's too thick. Oh, thank you so much. Alright, we're nearly there with this forehead blending. Gets a bit tedious sometimes, but such is the sacrifice we make for art. Hey Stu, thank you so much. I wish I had a button where I could play the song from Thor Ragnarok where he's just going, it's my birthday. Because that'd be fun. Alright, let's grab this highlight color from the cheeks and start giving some light to some other areas, such as the chin. The chin will need some light. Just gonna blend that in as always, always blending here. And then I'm gonna grab some more light from over here. I'm gonna have light coming down the side of the face. Like so, meeting up almost with the chin. This is much more like traditional portrait painting almost. No line art to guide you. But we're still going to have the shadow coming down from here, so we don't want to get rid of that too far. Alright, nice. It's coming together nicely. Let's just take that light again, draw it along the Cupid's bow, and just suggest a bit there so it's not looking too smooth. There we go. What tablet am I using? Of course you can ask. Happy to answer any art questions at all here. I'm using the Cintiq 16. Which is a Wacom tablet that they brought out a few years ago. It was like their first sort of affordable Cintiq. Most of their Cintiqs started at around £800 until they brought this one out, which I believe retailed for about £400. So finally I was able to afford one. And if you are a professional artist, I would most certainly recommend it. It's incredibly handy. I always find that screen tablets help me kind of speed up my work an awful lot. The disconnect between kind of the hand and seeing it on a screen that isn't the same thing you're drawing on is quite intense for me. So I struggle with non-screen tablets quite a bit. Alright, this shadow down here is actually quite harsh, so I'm just going to bring it down to join these shadows. And then, of course, as always, as all things must, we blend it in. But yeah, I've heard the canvas range is pretty good too. I've never used a Huon, but I've heard that they've really improved. Like they're pretty reliable now. So yeah, I would say like go for it. You know, as long as you do your research and you're fairly sure of what it is that suits you, then do it. Like it'll be great. Suddenly having a screen tablet is a lot of fun. It opens up a lot of possibilities and kind of brings with it a lot of enthusiasm. Alright, because I kind of want her, as we're kind of working on this character, I want her to, she's not like super perfect. She's got like ashen skin. Again, one of the things I really liked about Resident Evil 8 with its design of its characters is the skin had its own flaws. You know, it had pores, it had wrinkles. I love all of that. I love that in character design. So it's kind of what I'm trying to do here with Nenny. Even though she's quite young, no matter what age you are, your face still kind of wrinkles with your expressions. Alright, this is another reason I like this style. Again, I'm painting over the lines now, and this is where we start to bring it together as more of a traditional painting kind of effect. Thank you so much, Stormbreaker. That's very, very kind. Oh gosh, so I have quite a strong, I think it's called a nasolabial fold. Like here, coming down, I've always had quite strong like lines there. It's just like part of like a family trait. So seeing Lady Dimitrescu with those was just nice, you know. I just found her design just really refreshing. Alright, just gently painting over that sketch now to give ourselves a nice coloured edge to the paintwork, and then of course we can blend on this layer too. We can blend on any layer. Well, we can't really blend on the sketch layer, but you know what I mean. Alright, just gonna join up there, and then using the slightly darker colours to go over it down here. OIT Sunrise Gaming, if it's any consolation, the number of white hairs I possess is, well, it's a large number now. Can't really see it on my camera, but like, it's intense. I have in my family, it's kind of hereditary to develop a white streak by the time you're in your early 20s. And I'm now officially, as of today, in my late 20s. And I can say that I never developed a nice rogue streak. I just have smattering of pure white hair mixed in with the dark. I was always very, very unhappy that it didn't form a nice proper like white flash. That would have been cool. Awesome. So you can see how this is coming together, and it forms this really nice kind of soft effect. This I've been really enjoying playing with lately, and is definitely a painting style I want to do more and potentially offer as a commission type. So I'm just going to finish ironing out some of these highlights. Obviously, we've got them mostly on that side. We're going to need the slight suggestion of eye bags on the left as well. Just a little bit though. And then I might go straight up to the overlines and just tidy up the lower eye area. Because we've got this defining line there, but it doesn't need to be super hard. So you can go ahead and soften that one out. Especially on the side which is receiving more light, which is this side. And then I'm going to do the same over here. I know that feeling, Unit A, 8-7. I will probably be pretty much completely grey by my mid-30s, I think. Well, not grey. That's the weird thing. I don't have grey hairs. It goes straight from dark brunette to pure white. There's no in between. So that's fun. I could do, you know, if it had done properly, I could have been a full Cruella by my 30s, but nope. No dice. Okay, what should we do next? I think it's time for the nose and the lips. It's time to add some more features. So you can kind of see the difference that highlight layer makes. I'm going to go ahead and merge that down now that we're kind of happy with it. And I'm going to make a new layer, again, clipped to that one. And this is going to be for her nose and lips. Now, this is what I call, my approach to noses is something I like to call the Animal Crossing method. And you will see why shortly. So first of all, I take a color that's slightly more saturated than the area surrounding it. In this case, I'm just going to push it ever so slightly towards pink. Yeah, that'll do us. And then I'm going to paint the kind of triangle shape of the nose, like this. You kind of see how it's coming along. Very much like you would see on an Animal Crossing villager. There we go. We now have the Animal Crossing nose shape. Next, I just blend in the edges of this with the surrounding paintwork. So again, I'm using the same brush for everything I do here. And it's one of the default Photoshop brushes. It is in general brushes, ignore wet media, that's not meant to be there. So we'll close that. It's the fourth one down, it's called Hard Round Pressure Size. And the most important thing to note is you want to have transfer turned on. This is what gives you the lovely control over the opacity of your strokes. And it's, you know, kind of essential for me. So yeah, I'm just gonna continue doing a little bit of blending to get this integration nice and soft. Like so we've still got the Animal Crossing nose, but it's just a little bit softer. And then we're gonna go ahead and start adding some shadow. Now, this is quite a saturated color, so it might be a bit much, but the next thing I do, yeah, I'm gonna turn this down a tiny bit, is I am basically just going to take that lower plane, the bits that are in shadow on the nose, and just mark out exactly where that shadow is, and fill it in. It looks a bit like a fawn's nose to start with, but that's okay. We're gonna gradually soften it out as we go along. There we go. Okay, that's the starting nose. That's very fair. Unit A1. I can see 8-1, 8-7. My brother has that going on at the moment. I really wanted to try dyeing my hair some fun colors this year. I really wanted to go like a nice kind of denim-y blue, like a grayish, silvery, smoky blue. But my hair, I don't want to risk upsetting it because I'm trying to grow it long and it starts getting unhappy when it gets long. So, I don't know. I just want it to be happy, and I feel like having to bleach it before I dye it would make it really fall out with me. Alright, next thing to do, we're going to add the little shadows you get in that little divot where the nostril comes around and joins the side of the face. So, and then once we've marked that out, we're just going to gently blend that area in with the surrounding nose. This is where we start to really get shape and depth developing on the nose. Oh, exciting! Quite Freya, yeah. Your purple looked really nice. I think you uploaded a picture in the Discord a while back. I remember thinking it was really cool. Yeah, I know my hair bleaches quite well because I bleached it once before, but that was only like a streak at the front. But I don't know how like bleaching all of it, bar the roots. I'd probably leave the roots so they wouldn't get unhappy. I don't know how that would fare. I want to try, but I'm a coward. Right, I'm just going to bring in some real dark tones now, just for a few little choice areas. Coming under here. And then just around this bottom edge. And then blend, 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 blend. Okay, now we can start giving some light to this nose. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab a highlight colour from somewhere else, so up there. In fact, I'll take a highlight colour from the cheek, that's a bit more accurate. And I'm going to start on the overlines layer right now. Going over that sketch, I'm going to add what I call the Diamond of Power, which is a stupid name, but it helps me remember it, which is kind of like the brightest plane on the tip of the nose. Then I'm going to increase the size of my brush and just very gently just bring it down to create a stripe down that top edge. You can see how that's already given it a lot more shape and depth there. Candy Cane 55. Yeah, see, my hair grows quite fast, which I'm very grateful for. But like, it grows fast right now. I don't know if in like another few years it might be like, you know what, I'm done growing, and then I'll be stuck with its length for a while, which is why I'm trying to grow it long now. All right, let's just again, we're gonna cut away some of this line art. I say line art, it's not line art, it's sketch. There we go, it starts to getting a bit softer there. And then I'm just going to blend up here a little more. Wonderful. Right, then we're going to blend down the side of the stripe. Then we've got a few more places we need to add tone. We need some more shadow coming down this right hand side. Our right, her left. So I'm just going to roughly daub that in, do some blending, zoom out, see how I feel. Yeah, that's kind of doing the job. Now it just needs to be blended in. Going all around those edges, eye-dropping like new colours almost every time we move. Just to get it looking really smooth and softly in there. There we go. So let's just save, because I don't think I've saved in quite a while. And yeah, I think we need to do a bit more blending on the nose. We need to blend in the diamond around here. So I'm going to take that light colour, take that to those there edges. There we go, that's a bit softer now. And then we can also take some of this lighter tone, just very subtly, very gently over here. Gently building up the tone again. And then blending it in with the lighter areas on the left. Yeah, that's fine. And finally, I'm going to tone down that a bit. And we can paint over the nasty bit of sketch over here. Oh, thank you so much, Strangerling and Orange Juice God. That's very, very kind. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes. Woo! Yeah, I'm liking this. This is actually coming out quite nice. I'm very, very, very picky when it comes to my own work. Goodness gracious. I was worried I wasn't going to like it because, again, I'm playing with really new things for me here. Okay. Then let's bring in some darker shadow just to go over this edge. And naturally, we're going to blend it in. Also, I'm so happy. I ordered this just sounds kind of really silly, but I ordered 2,000 litres of soil 2 weeks ago, and it got didn't get dispatched, and it was just a nightmare because we're trying to get our garden comfortable to sit in by midsummer so we can still enjoy it before it gets cold. And my mud arrived today, so I got mud for my birthday, and it made me really happy, and now I know I'm an adult. Because I can finally work on my garden. It's funny, I went from having no garden or access to any kind of green space when we were living in the flat before we moved, to suddenly having like our own little garden to do stuff with, and it's a game changer. Being able to be outside, especially during these times of lockdowns. What did I get for my birthday? Mud. That's how you know. That's how you know I'm a druid, okay? My class is a dead giveaway. But no, I also got these headphones, which have made streaming a lot better, and I got a board game. Yeah, it's been very nice chill time. Oh, and yesterday I went to one of my favorite places, which is the Western Burt Arboretum, which is basically like a zoo for trees, which is quite close, about half an hour drive from where we live. And it's a gorgeous place, really beautiful. If you are anywhere, like, if you're in England and you like kind of natural spaces like that, and you like cool trees, which is quite a niche, I understand, you should definitely check it out. It's very pretty. Oh, Captain Morgan, thank you so much. And Kareem Zaimir, thank you so very much for the bits. That is so kind. I thank you very, very much. Just add a little bit of light here. There we go. And that is a nose to be proud of, or at least a nose to be pleased with. I'm just going to take the shadow down a tiny bit. A little notch down here. Yeah, that works. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring a little bit of shadow down the Cupid's bow. Just blending, 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 because that's what my life amounts to. There we go. There's a little bit more shadow in there, and then I'm just going to chase this bit of light over to the right tiny bit. And there we go. That's kind of the nose area. We'll probably keep adding to it and tweaking. That's kind of just how I go with this sort of thing. So let's start with the lips. We're going to go back down, kind of see everything we've done in the overlines. So it now kind of makes quite a difference. We're going to go back down to the lips and start working those in. Yeah, honestly, like, having a garden is absolutely delightful. Like, it's not a very big garden. There's not all that much space in it. When we got it, it was basically, we had some nice shrubs, like the person we bought from clearly had taken care of it. But there was no like grass or any like soft ground covering to sit on. It was all gravel and concrete. So we've been doing quite a lot of landscaping between work and at weekends to make it like a nice summery space. Because I love plants, I love gardening. One of the first things I did is fix up one of the flower beds so I can grow vegetables in it, because I love growing my own kind of produce. And so yeah, we've actually got some really nice healthy looking squash plants and strawberries and courgettes that are going to be coming through in autumn, so very hyped for that. Dragonflies are beautiful. I love dragonflies. I grew up very, very rurally in like England, and I used to go like out with a net in summer, just a net and a bucket, and just hunt for bugs. It was very Studio Ghibli now I think about it. I would just go out, not a care in the world, and hunt for like bugs, and go in like the little streams and like try and find dragonfly larvae and stuff, and see if I could find like weird worms and stuff. Like I was a mucky kid, and it was great. All right, let's start adding some definition to these lips. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to jump up to pink, because she's got darker lips than what I'm doing here now, thinking about it. So I'm going to go ahead and start adding some quite extreme shading here. Oh, Damselfly Fae, that's so cool. Gosh, I adore theming my Fae along real world kind of bugs or plant species, all that kind of jazz. Makes me very happy. Alright, I'm going to darken this one lip up. We're going to go up to pinks rather than oranges. We're going to take it down quite a few notches, because of course she needs to have a cold lip tone. She's undead. Wouldn't be caught dead out wearing oranges. back up to the overlines. There we go, that's better. We can now start just really weaving them in with the rest of the tones we've got going. Thank you so much, the Comma Bandit. Yeah, I really recommend, like, you don't need much space or even like a proper garden space to grow veggies. I've grown them in just a grow bag before. And like there's a lot of species, like I've always grown courgettes and they're like what I've started with because they're so hardy, they're really tough to kill. And they have the most delicious and prolific vegetables, like they grow really nicely. Alright, let's go right up and over that line art. Sayonara. Thank you so much, Sandsteel90, for the follow. Hope you enjoy the stream. Whoops, that's the wrong thing. Okay, see how it's kind of coming together. I'm just going to raise up this part of the lip a tiny bit. That's better. Yeah, I like that. Can get a little bit more stylized, I think, with this style as well. I can push proportions a bit, go for a bit more caricature, which is a lot of fun. Alright, let's just start blending these shadows in. Kind of keeping an eye on my reference material as I go. Always a good idea to do that. Nice full lips. Oh, Captain Morgan, thank you so much. Yeah, colouring, funnily enough, colouring is something I absolutely detested up until a couple of years ago. It was my least favourite part process. It just gave me a lot of anxiety because I felt like I just couldn't paint realistically enough to make myself happy. I was never satisfied, and then I just found a few artists that really inspired me, and I sat down and I tried to work out why I love their work. And like try to learn to replicate some of like the technical techniques they were using, and it, you know, really turned things around. All right, cool. I think we need a bit more shade under the lips there. So I'm just gonna go ahead, bigger brush, paint over some of those grey sketch lines because they are no longer necessary. Then what I'm going to do, grab a slightly lighter tone. This might not look any good, I might take it off. Sometimes you get a lighter stripe at the bottom of the lip, which gives it a little bit more definition. Yeah, that's working for me. Cool, so we've got that coming around there. We do need a lighter kind of shine colour, so I'm going to do that and see how I feel about it. Yeah, that works. Does need to be blended in. Oh, that reminds me. I watched Luca last night, the new Pixar film. If you can watch it, do it. Absolutely, it was my favorite Pixar film in ages. Just gorgeous. Such a beautiful film. Like I was crying at the end. It was so pretty, and it wasn't like upsetting either. It was just wholesome. I won't give any spoilers, but it's definitely worth your time. Oh, Captain Morgan, that's kind of what I do. Like I blend everything. Everything must be blend. Even more so with this style. Blend all day, every day. I need to remember that the shadows are on this side, not the other side. So let's bring in a few more across here. There we go. There's some satisfying lips. I like those. Yeah, that's looking nice. Cool. So with that, I'm just going to add a little bit more softening around the jaw. And then we're going to work on her eyes. slightly softer. She's got a very sharp jawline, but I like that. That's kind of what I want. Yeah, you can kind of see, again, that's how much difference having that overlines layer makes. And I'm going to tackle her eyes now. Strangerling, thank you so very much. This is very kind. Okay. Yeah, it is genuinely scary. Coloring is really hard, especially because you spend ages on a gorgeous sketch or like some nice oh my arm hurts, or some really nice line art, and then when you've done like your color, and if you look back and you think, oh well, I feel like I've spoiled it, which happens all too often. It really puts you off coloring completely. I 100% get that. I really do. All I can say is like find a style, find an artist you admire, and try and work out what makes them tick. Try and work out how they've done it. You know, do studies. Like one of the things I did a lot of when I was learning, I did studies of like old artists stuff. Francisco Goya was one of my favorite ones to copy when I was in school. Very creepy paintings. But like if you like, the more you copy kind of the work of like the masters like that, the more likely you're gonna have like that moment you're like, hold on, I kind of work out how this happened. And you can kind of pick it up. There we go. Eyes are coming together now. I think it's time to jump up to the overlines and be brave. Blending in that top eyelid area. I'm gonna focus on this eye for now, I think. Just blending that in there. Problem is, my tablet, I've used it so heavily over the last few years. There's one side that's slightly worn down. Like there's, and it's kind of hard to see sometimes if the light reflects on it. Alright, now we're just going to just blend the edges of this bit over here. What next? We've got this bit coming around here. This also needs to be a bit softer, so let's work on that. And then of course we've got this eye bag situation. When you're an undead immortal vampire, you do sacrifice some smooth eyes. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this brighter colour, go down to a much smaller brush, and then I tend to add a really bright glistening highlight in this corner of the eye. Here. And that really adds a lot of definition to the side of the eye, makes it really stand out when you zoom out. So yeah, it's a kind of a technique I've used for a little while that I really recommend. It's not like necessarily completely true to life, it's a bit stylized, but it's fun. And fun is half the battle. Add a bit of highlighting up here as well. There we go. Oh, thank you so much, Punishing Lance. Regarding commissions, actually, I'm planning to open commissions for Patreon supporters on Wednesday. They'll be open to patrons for a, like I think 5 days or so. And then the week after, so next week, I'll be opening commissions to everyone else. As a heads up, slots are going to be quite restricted. Purely because last time I took commissions, I took about 7 months work at once because I kept saying yes. I find it so hard to say no to people. It's a trait I'm working on. But slots are definitely going to be more restricted this time. For the sake of my sanity and yours, because it means you don't have to wait like 7 months before I get to you in the queue. It also means I can open again sooner, rather than having to wait for ages before I can open my commissions again. So yeah, they are going to be opening, they are going to be limited, but, you know, I'll be keeping people abreast of when exactly it'll be, so and I'll try and make it a time that is good for both US and UK. I can't unfortunately satisfy every time zone. I'm sorry, I wish I could, but I'll do my best. Hey, Fazendero Minero, welcome. I hope you enjoyed the stream. We are painting D&D characters here. Alright, the eyes are coming along quite nicely. I think we're nearly there. We've got a little bit more blending to do, but we're nearly at the point where we can paint them in. I'm trying to think what I've got for dinner tonight, you know? I think I'm gonna make ramen. I think tonight's a ramen night. Birthday ramen. Thank you so much, Paper Cuts Art, for the raid. Wow, welcome, raiders, to the stream. We are working on a D&D character today. My D&D character. Oh, good. I'm pleased I said it right. I was worried as I was saying that. I was like, oh no, have I butchered this? I'm so sorry. But I'm very happy I pronounced it okay. Alright, wow, we've actually got most of the facial features in, so I think what I'm going to do next is the ear, and then we will do the eyes themselves. So, I'm actually going to merge these down. They're fine. And then we're going to get to work on the ear. So, for the ear, we're going to have a dark and desaturated bit of shading just here. Matching up with that. Oh, wonderful! I'm pleased I got it. Our Paper Cuts Art, thank you so much. Rendering has kind of become my great love these days. I used to hate it with all my heart and all my passion. But these days, I don't know, I kind of made it work for me. I beat it into submission and I made it work. Alright, let's get these ears looking nice. Ears are really tough as well. Ears I still haven't quite got. But every time I paint them, I get a bit closer. And that's how I like to think about my work, you know. Every time I make a new piece, I'm that little bit closer. Have I been playing D&D for a long time? Well, it depends on your definition of a long time, I suppose. I started playing in my final year of university, so 2015 is when I started playing D&D. But I wasn't actually playing 5e, I was playing a homebrew system that a very good friend of mine is still kind of developing, which is more inspired by the World of Darkness system, the Chronicle, I think they call it the storytelling system, I can't remember. It's gone through a lot of iterations, but it was like the V20 VTM system was what they mostly used. And so that's kind of what I started with. And then we played that for like quite a while, like a long running game that we had. And then I got my first taste of 5e. I want to say 2017, maybe. That sounds about right. It was the first time I really played 5e properly. And since then I've played a bunch of systems. But I really love 5e and it's given me a lot of joy, so I'd say D&D 5e and Vampire the Masquerade are my main systems that I play. Although I'm very picky about who I play Vampire the Masquerade with. It's one of those games that you need a lot of trust. Yeah, that's the thing, I've never actually played Pathfinder, actually. That's one of the few I've never tried. Punishing Lance, thank you so much. Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes when you're working on your own characters, and you're just vibing and going where it takes you, things do knit up quicker. It's weird. And it's probably because, you know, I'm having a good day, and my art is always more successful, and it comes together more quickly on a good day. I'm sure any other creators of any kind of content in chat can relate. Alright, let's just do the dark kind of bits in the middle there. Is that Kalash Tar? They are a Dhampir, which is why they're a little bit washed out. Which is the new one of the new lineages from Van Richten's, which came out a couple months ago now. Gosh, it was a few months ago, wasn't it? Wow. Which I play in my Wednesday game with my home group, which has been an absolute blast so far. I'm blessed to have a very lovely home D&D group. Oh, that's so exciting. Fazandiero, that's really cool. I hope you enjoy your first game. It's funny. The thing about D&D kind of, in sometimes it ages like a fine wine. Like you get more into it, more confident with role playing and abilities, but you never forget your first game or your first character. I think they do stay with you, which is a great thing. I think. Like I look back at my first ever D&D character, and she was a lot of fun. Was she particularly well built? Nope. But I still had a lot of fun playing her. Alright, I think it's time we jump up onto the overlines to do some of this rendering. Let's start by adding some lights, shall we? We're going to have quite saturated light in a few places. The thing about the ear is, ears are weird, but you get a lot of blood vessels near the surface. And that means that the colours you tend to get a lot of saturated colours in ears. Also because you often get like sunlight coming through them, which can also give quite a lot of colour to them. Thank you so much to Harfell and Bloblo23 Blubla or Bloblo, I'm not sure, but Bloblo2311, thank you so much for the follows. Are we playing Homebrew or Official Adventure? We are playing the adventure from Odyssey of the Dragonlords, which is a setting book by Modiphius, which is outrageous fun. It's like a Greek mythology themed setting for D&D 5e, and which is why this character has a very kind of classical style clothing and stuff. And I really recommend it. So far, it's been a lot. It's been great. Actually gonna destroy that line there because this should be blending into the rest of the ear. There we go. Then I'm just gonna blend this bit up here. Did I pull some inspo for enemy from my own face? I didn't actually, but now you mention it, I guess there are some similarities. I've got quite like a round face, and so does she. I guess it's that thing of, you know, you often will have similarities with your OCs, like some people will. Yeah. A lot of my characters have quite round, heart-shaped faces, I suppose, but I don't know if that's a style thing or something else. Okay, I'm actually gonna move this up a bit. The great thing about this overlines layer is it allows you to completely change shapes and adjust things on the fly rather than then having to go and adjust your like, you have to go and adjust your line art and then it's a whole thing. No, with this style, you can do it all on the overlines layer. Alright, the ear is almost done, I think. Very nearly done. Just got to put a little bit more blending here and there. I kind of want a little bit of paler colour up here. I think this is roughly where I'll leave the ear for now. I'm just going to do put a tiny bit more of this nice bright saturated tone in. And then save, because I don't want to lose everything. I really don't want to lose everything. I think we will do the eyes now. Eyes are fun. Let's do that. I have this as my starter colour for the eyes. Obviously, this style is more kind of a lot of reference from more classical paintings, so the eyes are going to be quite dark. Also, she's a Dhampir, so her eyes are going to be dead. Dark and dead and decaying. No, not decaying. She's not decaying. She's just a little bit undead. Just going to pop in the little colour bits of those edges now. And then gonna start adding some shading in. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start with this dark brown. Oh, I'm also going to lock this layer, which basically means I can't paint outside of it. Then add some shadows above, below, and then blend. Okay. Just blend this bottom edge a little bit. Fantastic. And now I am going to... I kind of want to bring in some brighter pinks, because you do get a lot of, yeah, a surprising amount of colour in the whites of the eye. So we're going to get some pinks coming in around the bottom, which I will blend in. And then I am going to add a bit more light. Just a touch though. Gonna take a large brush, not quite that large. Just like so, add a bit more light on this side because this eye is actually in more light than the eye on the right. Fantastic. And then we're going to colour the eyes themselves. Now, Nemi has very dark burgundy kind of coloured eyes, so we're going to start with that as our base. Just going to, big brush, just colour in the shape of the iris there. And then it's straight up to the overlines once again, as I'm going to jump down, grab a colour that's almost but not quite black. Captain Marvel, thank you so much. Jump down to a small brush, I think a 4 will do this. And first of all, I'm just going to essentially make the kind of eyelashes and the area around the eyes a little bit stronger. Same on this side, because at the moment they're just a little bit too brown, they need to be a bit more black. Basically, I'm giving her stronger eyeliner, is what I'm doing here. Okay. Another eyelash there. So it's again fairly, like there's detail in this style, but it's not to the point where you paint every single eyelash. That can often get a bit overwhelming. So rather than painting every single eyelash, I just kind of pick out a few key areas. And then I cut them back, or I make them kind of more prominent as necessary. Alright, let me zoom out, kind of see how it's looking there. Oh, what program am I using to draw? I'm using Photoshop CC 2019, I think. I think that's what I'm using. Pretty sure that's what I'm using. It's definitely Photoshop CC, it's just a specific model, I'm not totally sure. Alright, let's give her some pupils. Oh, heck no, I decided she was going to have spoopy pupils, didn't I? Let me actually just reference my own original designs for this character before I mess it up. Because I can't remember why I actually gave her eyes now. Nemi, what are your eyes like, honey? Nope, that's not right at all. Oh, she does have, okay, she does have, like, demony eyes. Cool, that's fun. We're gonna drop down all the way to that 4 again. And we're just gonna paint in the shape of those pupils. Zoom out, make sure they're kind of the right orientation. Yep, that works for me. And then the next thing to do, slightly larger brush. I'm just gonna create a soft gradient starting at the top of the eye. Just going down a little bit. Her eyes are very dark, but they still have some colour in them. So what we're going to do next is we go ahead and take a slightly lighter pink. Again, at this point it's very much burgundy rather than pink, but you know, comme ci, comme ça. And just on the lower side add this slightly lighter tone. And then that gradient looks pretty nice when we zoom out. Can I repeat the creature? Yeah, so the adventure I'm playing is, and absolutely I can write it in chat, it is called Odyssey of the Dragon Lords, and it's published by Modifius. I think I spelled that right. Anyway, they're a fairly well-known publishing company, but it's a very, very fun game, and if you like a bit of Greek mythology theming, you'll really enjoy it. Okay, let's just add a little flash of some bright colour in there, just to give a little spark. I'm just gonna basically outline the pupil very gently. And that's gonna give that little shot of colour. And then finally, I'm gonna take a colour that's so bright it's almost white, make a new layer. First time we've done that in a while. I'm gonna call it Shinies. Some of you might be familiar with this. And then we're gonna add just a little bit of light reflecting on the eyes themselves. And there is the face. She's looking very disapprovingly at all of you. And I think the next thing to do is we'll give her some eyebrows. She needs some eyebrows. So let's go back down to skin layer. I'm actually going to merge the eye base down. And yeah, we're just going to do the eyebrows. She has very dark reddish brown hair, which kind of ends up in a sort of pinky red at the bottom. So her eyebrows are going to be a similar, very dark color. And I guess a little bit of advice I would have is when you're painting brown, pink makes a better brown than brown. I usually start, when I'm trying to paint a natural looking brown tone, I will actually start more in kind of the magenta part of the spectrum, and I will grab a very dark desaturated magenta for that. And thank you so much, Sarah Antworks, for the follow. Then I'm going to take this colour, and I'm basically just going to roughly paint in where her eyebrows are. And then it's going to follow across. And then meeting back up there. So that's the shape of the eyebrows. We need to give them a little bit of definition. So we're going to grab a slightly darker colour, and starting from the bottom edge, just add some kind of the shapes of kind of the direction the hair is going in. And then I'm going to jump back up to that sweet, sweet overlines layer, then grab the opposite, so a slightly lighter colour, and use that to highlight the brows a wee bit. And there we have eyebrows. Simple as that. Eyebrows are pretty simple. So we're going to save again, because one gets to a certain point and one is a little paranoid. I think I'm going to need some more reference before I embark on the chest. Drawing chests is hard, really hard. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a start on the hair, because why ever not? Or am I? No, I'll tell you what I'm going to do for a little bit. We're going to finish putting down the base colours for her skin. So I'm just going to turn off the palette layer now. We don't actually need that anymore. Oh, Paper Cuts Art, thank you so very much. Yes, it is my birthday today. I don't usually stream on Mondays, but I thought, you know, it'd be fun to have some company while I paint, so why not do a birthday stream? So let's just go ahead and fill in the shoulders and her arms. Unlike most of my characters, she doesn't have a bare midriff for once. I usually can't resist painting abs, so most of my more martial characters have like their abs on display. Gosh, I need to paint Reza again. Reza, I love her to pieces. I need another game to play her in as well. She is my tiefling barbarian, and thanks to her I discovered how much fun the barbarian class is. Which is to say, extremely fun. Thank you so much, blah blah 2311. That's very, very kind. Yeah, it's been a very good birthday so far. Nice and chill, nice and chill. This character is a druid. In particular, she is a moon druid. She likes to. One of the cool things my DM let me do is because we've obviously got this ancient Greek kind of theming to this campaign. She can wild shape into a death dog, which is a CR1. Technically it's a monstrosity rather than a beast, but it's basically a two-headed black dog. because I wanted that Cerberus vibe. So that's a lot of fun. Moon Druid has been so much fun to play so far. It's very powerful at low levels. Just an endless pool of hit points. Alright, just gonna work my way down the arm. And across. Whoops. Same on the lower edge. And with this piece, because it's my own character, I might potentially, when it's finished, put it up on my print shop that I don't have yet. I plan to make a print shop this year because I've got some other fan art pieces that I want to finish and make available. Ooh, Tiefling Cleric, that's super cool. I love that actually. Tiefling Cleric isn't like an obvious choice either. So I hope you have loads of fun. And again, like I say, you'll never forget your first game. So I hope you have all the fun in that. Okay, now we have got that in, we can just fill it, and then I'm going to go around with the brush tool just to get rid of these nasty white lines that get left behind. There we go. Lovely, that's that one filled in, and then finally we have her other arm, which is hiding behind the bunch of mistletoe that she's currently holding, but I'm actually going to ignore that for now. I think the mistletoe will be painted on the top layer, so I'm not going to worry too much about going over it for now. Right, filling this in, and then of course going over those nasty little white lines. And there we go, that's all the skin marked in for this. So what I might do just to finish off is take this slightly darker colour, I'm going to bring it down just a little bit further. And, I'm just looking at my reference now. Maybe I'll bring back the palette just for a wee second. And this is where you tend to get more greys sneaking in, actually, around this part of the neck. So we're going to have some more desaturated colours kind of playing around. We're going to have quite a lot of bright colours playing around. Kind of coming into chest. I'm just going to roughly block these out for now. And then going to get them coming slightly up the neck as well. This is most definitely a very rough blocking process. This is usually how I start when I'm colouring other parts of the body. Like, it starts very rough and then develops from there. See, we're going to have some bright tones as well. And this bright tone is going to come across to this shoulder too. And then of course we're going to have a lot of shadow kind of coming into play around and about. So it's good just to kind of roughly mock it in. And obviously we've got this more desaturated colour coming in on the right. So yeah, that's the thing, quite fair. Like, gosh, I have so much respect for professional oil artists who just know what colours to use and they mix them all like flawlessly. They don't just like eyedrop them like I'm doing. I wish I had honestly more space so I could do more oil painting, because oil painting is it's such a good exercise. Unfortunately, oil painting is also ludicrously expensive because you've got to have the space, you've got to have the kit, you've got to have all the special oils, you've got to have the aniseed, you've got to have your terps. And it's not a good idea to do that in an enclosed space because you'll end up completely gassing yourself out. But yeah, I think, based on the time and the fact that it's nearly dinner time, I think it is probably a good place to call it for this afternoon. But thank you all so very, very much for joining me on my birthday. It's been wonderful to kind of chat with everyone. And thank you so much for all the subs. Honestly, absolutely wonderful of you. Thank you so much. I'm going to pop some links in chat, starting with my Twitter, which is where most of my socials is. It's kind of like my socials hub, you could say. So if you want to find out when I'm doing commissions, when I'm streaming, what I'm painting, that's the best place to check that out. Oh, thank you so much for the bits, so Mad Max. That's very, very kind. Thank you. And Instagram, I also have an Instagram. Not much more to say than that. Everyone knows what Instagram is. If you like following art on Instagram, do give me a follow on there. ArtStation is where you can find my main portfolio. If you've enjoyed the music in my stream, it's by an artist called Kai Engel. It's wonderful royalty-free stuff that's great for ambience, relaxing, or D&D campaigns, you know, whatever floats your boat. YouTube, I am steadily catching up with YouTube uploads. I upload past streams and as VODs, so you can kind of catch up with what I've been doing. I also have a few other things on there. I have a series dedicated to the lore of the video game Destiny 2. I'm sure most of you who watch my streams are sick of me rambling on about this, but there is some fantastic storytelling in the game Destiny 2, and I have a series where I audiobook style read through this. So if you like cosmic horror and that vibe, do check it out. Okay, I think last but most certainly not least, if you want to support the work that I do, please check out my Patreon or consider throwing me a sub on Twitch. Both of those things honestly help a whole bunch, and it means a ton to small streamers like me, and just helps me kind of make the content that I make and do what I do full time. So without further ado, thank you all so very much for joining me today. It's been really fun, and I will most likely be back on Wednesday at the same time, which is 5 PM UK time, for some more art streams. I don't know what I'll be working on yet, but when I do, I will see you then. So have a lovely few days. Best of luck everyone with the start of the week, and I will see you all soon. Have a great one. Bye!